Thank you very much for staying with us. Now let's settle down for the details of our story. So we woke up this morning to that shocking revelation by Joyce, Dzidzor, Mensah, who has come out to say that she is not an HIV positive person or a person living with HIV. She has been an ambassador for almost 5 years, and she spoke to TV3 New Day, decided to come out now to confess.
Auntie Joyce, the news that is coming in this morning is that you don't have HIV or AIDS. Is that true?
Yes, please. I don't have it.
So why have we all known for so long that you have HIV and AIDS or AIDS?
Why I have not known?
Why have we all known?
Oh, okay. It's because I came out to talk about it.
Okay. But did you ever tell anyone that you had it?
Did I ever tell anyone?
That you had it?
Yeah, I have done that publicly.
Publicly. Okay, so you were being supported by the Ghana AIDS Commission. The Ghana AIDS Commission was giving you money because you claimed you were living with HIV and you were going around the country talking about discrimination and stigmatization.
That the Ghana AIDS Commission has given me money to do that work?
Yes.
No, I wasn't giving money to do that work.
Okay, so what exactly is your story?
The story is that I had a boyfriend in a church, and he was infected with HIV. I didn't know myself. And so, going out with him, someone stepped on my toe and told me. So I became very careful. But before then, I have had sex with him. But you know, there is an HIV medication that you take when you are exposed to HIV within 72 hours. When you take it, you don't become infected. You get me?
Yes.
And so, but unfortunately for me, I became pregnant for him, and he also died of AIDS. And due to that, people got to know he died of AIDS. So I was stigmatized. I went through a lot. Things that I went through, I can't see everything now. And I believe those who have been hearing my story over the years, they know what I've gone through. I have been saying it on air for about close to five years now. That is stigmatization.
Okay.
Stigmatization can even kill someone.
Okay.
So it came to a point that I couldn't live in that same house where I used to live with my parents.
Okay.
And I was thrown out of the house. So I ended up in the Secretariat of National Associations of Persons Living with HIV in Ghana here.
Okay.
That was where I ended up because I didn't have anywhere to go. I have been tagged with HIV. So that is the only place I could find solace.
Okay. But were you at any point an ambassador for HIV and AIDS?
Come again?
Were you at any point made an ambassador for HIV and AIDS?
Yeah, I called myself HIV ambassador, but I became heart-to-heart ambassador of Ghana AIDS Commission.
Okay. And did the Ghana AIDS Commission know that you were not living with HIV?
I don't know.
Okay, so that is actually the thrust of our issue here, because over the period we've all thought that you were living with HIV, only for you to tell us this morning that you've never had HIV. Why are you now coming out to tell us the truth when you had over the period been considered a heart-to-heart ambassador?
Well, because I did it with all my heart to educate people that even if people are living with HIV, they are just human. And you bear with me that over the years, the advert that has been on air is about, it goes like, people living with HIV are just like you and I.
Yes.
And it's like, it looks like people living with HIV are a group of people that are put somewhere that look like human beings. You get me? So I wanted it to be like, people, I am also living with HIV. Not that they are like me, that I am, because I can be. Because HIV can affect anyone at any time.
So Joyce,
even though I wasn't, I was stigmatized as if I were.
Okay, Auntie Joyce. So do you agree? Do you accept that you lied to the entire nation about your HIV status?
People lied about me as well. So I have to put myself in the shoes of people living with HIV to tell story of millions.
So,
if I wasn't.
because all this period, a lot of us had invested so much in you. We invested time in you, talking to you as though you were living with HIV. I'm sure you benefited from the Ghana AIDS Commission. You received some cash benefits at some point. So you lied to an entire nation about your status.
You know what? You are saying I have received money from Ghana AIDS Commission. I went into a contract with them, which is a different issue, and I think that is not a subject matter now.
Okay.
Whether I have received money from Ghana AIDS Commission or not, I think you should also ask them.
Okay,
Because like
but
I said,
you entered a contract with them.
Whether I receive money from them or not, it is possible that I don't receive money from them, but I'm still working.
That is also possible. But I'm asking you, whichever contract you entered into with the Ghana AIDS Commission was based on the fact that you were living with HIV, so you lied.
Okay.
Did you lie?
I lied.
Did you lie?
I lied. No, I saw it in a different way to help others get tested.
But you deceived the Ghana AIDS Commission, and for that matter, all of us in this country. I mean, we are happy you are not living with HIV, but you deceived us.
I don't think it's a crime not to live with HIV.
It is not a crime to live with HIV, and it's not a crime to live with HIV, or not to live, or the other way. Nobody says it's a crime. We are not talking about crime here. We are talking about the fact that you misled us.
Can I say something?
Yes, please.
Is it a crime to stigmatize and abuse somebody because they perceive the person is living with HIV?
Perception, yes. It is bad for anybody to discriminate against you.
I was beaten because I was perceived to live with HIV. And I want to ask, is there any law in this country that fights for people like this?
There is a law that fights for people who are discriminated against.
Somebody was molested, somebody was beaten.
So, Auntie Joyce, are you justifying the lie you told? Are you justifying the lie you have told all of us?
I don't see it as a lie, because my programs have benefited a lot of people. After I speak with you now, almost every day I take people to the hospital.
Couldn't you have educated all of us if you were not living with HIV? I mean, I sit on TV and I talk about discrimination and stigmatization, and I don't have HIV. I still do it. I don't have to lie to an entire nation that I have HIV. Don't you think you have done a disservice to even people living with HIV?
Come again?
Don't you think that you have done a disservice to the people living with HIV, the people who thought you were one of them, and within all that period, you had lied to them?
They shouldn't be disappointed. And I realized I couldn't continue with it, even though it is saving lives.
Are you aware that you can be sued?
I released this because I wanted to make an apology.
Okay.
So if you read carefully, you will see that I made an apology.
Okay. All right. But are you aware that you can be sued?
Come again?
Are you aware that you can be sued in court for this?
In court?
Yes.
Well, something like that.
Okay. Now, you said you wanted to render an unqualified apology. I'll give you the opportunity to apologize.
No, but your line is not very clear. What did you just say?
You said you wanted to offer an apology, render an apology, and I'm asking you to go ahead and do it.
See what I can do.
Are you going to apologize?
Yes, I did that in the papers. That is what I did.
Okay, for those who haven't read the papers, would you want to apologize on TV?
Yes, I would want to apologize. That even though it was for a good cause, some might still believe that I have deceived them, and it might be true. So I'm deeply sorry, even though it is saving life. I'm deeply sorry for doing what I did. But I thought, because of what I went through, a lot of people are still going through the same. I wanted to put myself in their shoes.
So why have you come out then? Why have you come out to say that indeed you are not living with HIV? Why have you come out this morning?
So many reasons.
Tell us.
I think I couldn't continue with it. And secondly, anytime I travel out of Ghana, people say I'm dead. Recently, it was all over the place. My stepfather nearly collapsed because he heard I was dead. Before I traveled, I had a call that where I used to live, people said I'm dead.
So you heard the words of Joyce Dzidzor Mensah, who early on today spoke with Nana Banama about her condition. We all believed that she was someone living with HIV, but then she's come out to say that no, she is not, and that was just doing it for some personal reasons, which she also outlined. We've been joined on the line by Insia Asare. He is a legal practitioner, to find out really if the lady in question, Madam Dzidzor Mensah, has lied, and if she has, what are the legal ramifications whenever such an issue comes up. Good afternoon, sir, and thank you very much for your time. Hello, Mr. Asare. Mr. Asare, if you can hear me, would want to find out, listening to the confessions of Madam Joyce, Dzidzor Mensah, would you say she has lied, and what does the Constitution say about that? We seem to be having a little difficulty, but would still work the lines to get a legal perspective on this developing issue and find out how it works, I mean, when it comes to the legalities of it. Mr. Asare, if you can hear me now, I was asking that what would you say about the latest story of the lady in question, Madam Joyce Dzidzor Mensah? Would you say he has lied?
Well, I don't think that the fact that she has lied is in doubt. She herself, I mean, a little I've heard of the story, and then listening into your interview this afternoon, she herself admits of the fact that she had lied about her HIV status. So as far as that factual issue is concerned, I think that is not in doubt at all. What readily then comes to mind, or the question that many people may want to ask, is that what are the consequences of her having to lie about her HIV status?
Right.
Now, within this jurisdiction, a person's action, if it incurs any liability, might be either criminal or civil. Now, it depends on who wants to make a complaint or wants to pursue a legal agenda with reference to this particular issue. Now, if somebody would want to pursue it on the criminal front, then I suppose that, like it pertains within the jurisdiction in our legal system, the person would basically have to point out some criminal connotation of what her lie basically is about, for which reason she might be liable criminally. Now, listening to her, I realized that the only entity, I don't even know if the Ghana AIDS Commission is incorporated, but if it is incorporated, then the only entity that may have some claim against her, and I use may very advisedly, because a claim against her would not arise in limbo. It will not arise in a vacuum. The AIDS Commission has dealt with her in some capacity, for which she seemed to have rendered some services to the Commission.
Right.
Now, if there were contracts upon which those services were rendered, the first question that legally could be asked are, what were the conditions and warranties of that contract? Now, if representation as to being HIV positive were necessary conditions and warranties to the contract for which she rendered services to the Commission, then some liability may arise. Now, I use may again very advisedly, because it depends on the gravity of the conditions and warranties, whether they are entrenched or otherwise. And it depends on what impact the absence of that representation would have on the work that she ought to have done for the AIDS Commission. All those things would factor in bringing up a claim against her. Now, the closest that we may come to in terms of criminal liability, I think that in times past, I do not think that I have heard of this in the past 10 or so years. It's the law that used to stand on our law books called the fraudulent breach of trust. for which I know in the past several people have been convicted. I do not know if that law still stands on our criminal books. If it does, then it is likely that she may be coming a bit close to it. But like I maintained right from the beginning, the nitty-gritties of her dealership with the AIDS Commission, and whatever representations that she had made, and the content of any agreement that she might have signed with them pursuant to those representations for which she was engaged to render any services, are very critical and key to us where putting up a claim in a civil action against her, or bringing criminal charges against her. And again, it will depend on what kind of criminal charges anybody may choose to level against her, and the specific ingredients that are necessary for substantiating those. So, on the face of it, I mean, morally, I would immediately dismiss her actions. Morally, it is not right that you would represent facts that are incorrect for whatever reason. She might have reasons to justify why, and I was a little bit inclined to sympathizing with her. The fact that she went under stigmatization and all that, but that would not be a license for you to lie to the entire nation. But the question is that, would that act of lying to the entire nation, or to even an entity which has then been cajoled through your lies to enter into specific agreements with you, necessarily incur you criminal liability? That is a question that whoever may want to take it up on a criminal stance will have to answer.
But lawyer, apart from the contractual bit of this discussion, where, like you're saying, maybe the Ghana AIDS Commission has signed an agreement or a pact with her on which grounds she was an ambassador, that one out, could an individual take her on for what in the legal realm is known as public deceit, saying, for instance, there are people who may have gotten emotionally attached to her message, and now that she's come out to say this, they may also have some emotional discomfort, and can't they take her on?
You see, it is not too clear-cut. The reason being that if somebody came on TV and represented facts that she were HIV positive, and that those facts were only to support the person, as it were, enhance the lives of people living with HIV/AIDS. If it turns out later that those set of facts were not right, for the person who sat in the comfort of his home and watched a program in which this person made those representations, the question is that, what damage have you suffered consequent upon those representations? Now, I will be very careful in advising that if anybody can prove a damage that he or she has suffered consequent upon those representations on TV, in a manner where there is not direct dealership with this person in the representation, then the person may bring up the claim. But you know that, in bringing the claim, you would have a responsibility to prove that you actually suffered some loss. That's why I kept on going back to National AIDS Commission, because they dealt with it. But you see, the nation as a nation state, which has criminal laws, and the police are at liberty to pick up any matter and investigate for purposes of prosecution. So for the police, if they find any law on our criminal law books which indict her by virtue of the lies that she told of her status as an HIV positive person, then the state can bring a criminal action against her. But as for an individual sitting in the comfort of her home or his home, having relied on those false representations, the person would have to prove some cogent damage or injury that he or she has suffered. And this is my opinion. I have to point out. This is not an absolute position of the law. That the person has suffered in order to bring up a claim against her. All right. I see. Very interesting developments there. Thank you very much, Insia Asare. He is a legal practitioner. Thank you very much for throwing some legal light on this developing story. We are grateful for your time, and we'll stay with this issue a while longer. We know that she was
part of a number of people who were known as heart-to-heart ambassadors or AIDS ambassadors, and went around the country and even went around some other countries to propagate the campaign against stigmatization, and then also for people to be cautious of how they live their lives with regards to HIV and AIDS. And a number of them would want to also comment on this current confession that has come out and is making the rounds. I've been joined on the line by Raymond Ahulu, who is a member of NAPLAS, and that's the Association of Persons Living with HIV, to tell us really what they make of the confession and if they were also as stunned as some of us were. Good afternoon, sir, and thank you very much for your time, Raymond.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah, I have heard a lot of the news this morning, which was a bit confusion in the sense that this lady, I got to know this lady almost 7 years now, and she is positive.
What?
She's a positive. She's HIV positive.
You mean she is HIV positive?
She is HIV positive.
Do you have proof to that effect?
Yeah, because she take her drug, her antiretroviral, that is ARV at Kolebu, while she's not taking it, currently she's not taking it at Legon Hospital.
No,
she's
but
a member of our association.
Raymond,
hello.
Raymond, you know that she was acting all along, so she naturally would have to get those medications, so you would all believe that she was a member of, or she was HIV positive. But have you seen any medical records to show that she is HIV positive?
No, actually, because of stigma and discrimination, if someone says someone has disclosed your status that she's HIV positive, there is nothing like you going to say that, oh, I want to check your medical report, I want to see this. But what we do at the officers in office is that we have associations, and everybody belongs to the association. Then if you are a member, we know the hospital that you attend and take your medication. For example, Kolebu like this, they have fever clinic. That is why HIV people go to take their ARV. So the moment you go to Kolebu, you head towards there, everybody know you are positive. And that is where she accessed her medication. And she was once HIV ambassador on TV before.
Yes.
And we all know her. She was ejected in a house by the family, and even some of us brought her from the street to the office, our main office.
Ray.
Yeah.
Ray, those that information you're giving has seemed to already be in the public domain, but we want to find out what her confession, what kind of impact her confession has had on your campaign and that of your other colleagues who are persons living with HIV.
Yeah, what this girl has said this morning, it will look as if those of us who are on TV telling the public that what they should know their status. We are positive. We are living with the virus for this year or so many years. It will look as if you are deceiving the public. So what I'm thinking now, maybe the drug that she is taking, the drug has affected her brain. She needs to be taken to psychiatrist for checking out.
No, Raymond, take it easy. I would want you to withdraw that. Is it having an impact on you? Is that drug having a problem? I mean, are you having any problems mentally from taking the prescription?
Oh yes, most of us have side effects of that drug. Most of us have side effects of that drug. And at times when we go to the hospital, the way we talk to the doctor, the way we talk to the nurses, they even realize that there is something happening to our brain. And at times we have to calm down.
So are you saying that
is the side effect?
So it's also very likely that you are not too the information you are also giving isn't that correct or isn't too much of the truth, because the medication may have an implication on your statement.
The medication has I'm too much correct, because myself taking the drug at times I behave some certain ways, and later on, before I will come into my senses, I will say that, oh, Why am I talking like this? Yeah, I do complain to my doctor, and my doctor is known as Dr. Otunyaku at the police hospital. That's why I assess my medication. So we all know this lady as HIV positive. Be on TV, create her personal account to all the public. She has made what she has got today. Maybe she has got a new husband at the church, and she wants to say something to fool the public. This is very
Raymond. Raymond, we would have to leave it here. We are very grateful for your time, and thank you very much for
thank you too.
For speaking with us. Raymond Ahulu is a member of NAPLAS, and that's the group made up of persons living with HIV, and they have been quite vocal on the campaign against HIV and AIDS, and also have gone around the country to ensure that the message gets down with everyone who needs to know his or her status. So send us your comments. Let us know what you think. We will gladly read them to the rest of the world. But we would also, in our subsequent bulletins, be speaking with a medical professional to find out if there are any psychological effects from taking the ARVs, that is the antiretroviral drugs, and if it could affect the psyche of the persons who are taking it, and if probably, like the gentleman was saying, would affect whatever they say. We have been joined also on the line by Clement Dzidzor. He is a former president of NAPLAS. Clement, thank you very much for making time to speak with us. We have lost Clement on the line, and we would want to hear from you. What do you make of this story? Send us your comment on our Facebook page, facebook.com/news on TV3, and also on Twitter, twitter.com/@news on TV3, and we would be pleased to read them. And also you can visit our website, tv3network.com, where we would put the video of her confession again, so you can also take a listen to it, and then let us know what your perspective or what your thoughts are on it. I'm told that we've been joined on the line again by Clement Dzidzor. Clement, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you too. Good afternoon,
yes,
and listeners.
Good. Have you also heard the confessions of Madam Dzidzor, that is Joyce Dzidzor Mensah, and what do you make of it?
Yes, Georgia confessed today. Is let me or we don't know what we are doing in HIV field. Because
go on.
George came to NAPLAS whilst he's a vulnerable. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yes, she came that they treat that's why she came to join us.
Okay. When she came, did you by any chance verify whether truly she was HIV positive or not in terms of medical records?
Yes, she came to us and told us that her husband died with HIV. She took a boyfriend who is HIV positive, died, so she wanted to join us. She came vulnerable girl, so we don't know what to do. And by that time too, we all say, okay, then so far as your husband died with HIV, we too, we can help you, because she told us that she don't have place to sleep. So by that time we have a secretary, so we asked her that then if it's that she can be staying with us.
Okay, but you didn't do any tests to show whether she was positive or not, and you believed her by word of mouth.
Yeah, today her confession let me reverse back the time she came to us.
Okay.
Because she came and told us that her husband died with HIV, and I asked her to go for test. But by that time she came with positive man who also says she saw her somewhere crying that her boyfriend died with HIV, so he's thinking that she also has HIV, and even the family being stigmatizing her, and then she don't have place to sleep. So we say, so far your husband died with HIV and AIDS, we can also help you. this time is not HIV is no more problem. So we are trying to cancel her to know that HIV is not a death sentence, so that we can bring her among us, so that she will be part of us.
Okay.
So she's part of us until some time where these ambassadors they want to recruit. And then after recruiting her, I told some of those Ghana Commission people that
Mr.
I'm suspecting her that
Mr. Dzidzor, your line isn't too good. If you can reposition yourself and conclude on that statement and please be brief for us.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes, it's better now.
It's better. Yes. So after recruiting her, I suspecting her that she's not HIV, but they should look at her well. But I think the contract she went to with Ghana, like they have to also look at to screen them well before they, because I see that in time they even drop her and bring another lady to be part of her, the part of her ambassador. So I don't know what happened, and they take her off of that program. Okay.
So you suspected from the beginning that she may not be HIV positive because...
Yes, because we have discordant purpose. That's why she came to us and I said, we have discordant purpose. So your husband can die with AIDS whilst you are negative. But now she's crying and we are all wanted to help. She's part of us. Okay. So today, if she confesses that she's negative, she can be negative. Okay. The original chairman talked about she can be psychiatric. So we are now all looking her folder at a fever unit to see whether it's true or not. Because this thing, she came as a vulnerable girl, which she don't have any place to sleep, she don't have food to shop.
Right.
So by that time I'm a president. So far you are crying that your husband died with AIDS, why can't you help her? And we all, by that time we have a food for peace.
Okay, Mr. Dzidzor, finally you said you wanted to react to some of the comments that Raymond Ahulu made. Which specific one is that, and can you kindly be brief with us? Yes,
she talked about the mental health, about HIV and mental health.
Okay.
Who is there for people living with HIV? Plenty of our people, or most of our people, are having that problem. But today, you be with us for since about 5 years today, and you are coming out today to confess that you are negative. We have to take decisions and go to his. My regional chairman says he's taking drug at Kolobu. So we go to Kolobu and see whether her folder is there or not, so that we can take decisions. Because now, if we say he is not positive, I will say we can't talk. But let's see the folder first, because this thing is not today. We have to, because now even damage our image of the network.
Okay.
So that the people who are there are positive.
Mr. Dzidzor,
the lawyer who is talking, we also have to look at how it will damage the organization, not class Ghana, network of persons living with HIV.
Okay.
Because you have been with them for a long time, and today you are coming out to confess that you are negative. What are you telling the network and the people living with HIV in the So it's a big challenge we all have to look at.
Okay. Mr. Dzidzor, we would have to leave it here for now. It is a developing story, and certainly as and when we get further details, we will bring it to you, our cherished viewers. It's always a pleasure having your company. We're working the lines together, Ghana AIDS Commission, to find out really if, one, they contracted her or were in an agreement with her in any shape or form for which she was an ambassador, and two, what they make of the confession she has come out to make, and then thirdly, if they have any intentions of, taking the issue up legally. And you would want to trust TV3 that as and when we get any other angles to this particular story, we will bring it to you.